Hey guys, my name's David and this is Fate Unbound, and today I'm going to be working on a project on our Thor Axis 25.3 motorhome that's just behind me. The problem is that the PVC pipe that comes out of the gray tank has completely separated from that joint. Thankfully, there's no break, there's no crack in the pipes, no crack in the gray tank. It's just that all of the shaking, all of the vibration over the years has caused that tube to just completely separate from where it goes into the gray tank. There's a hose clamp on there that helps hold that joint together, but the main thing that's supposed to hold it is a sealant that goes on that joint. But that sealant has totally failed. It's broken and it's no longer doing anything, and so that tube is just sort of flopping around inside of that joint where it goes into the gray tank. It seems like this is a very common issue on RVs, and I think it's because RV manufacturers use some type of joint compound that hardens, and so it just gets brittle over time, and all of the vibration, the shaking of the pipe, the movement of the tank as well just causes fatigue on that hardened joint. And so an idea that I found online while searching for what the proper joint compound to use, I came across an idea to use a joint compound that never hardens. This is a pipe thread sealant that is good on all metals and all types of plastic, and so it's not a problem that the pipe going in is PVC and the gray tank itself is made out of polyethylene. This should still work and cause a good seal to be formed. Man, words are hard, guys. Sorry, I haven't quite woken up apparently. And one of the things I found online is that you want to use one that has PTFE in it, or Teflon. And this says on the tube it's PTFE enriched, and so this should do the job. It never fully hardens, it stays flexible and movable, and so, as you're going down the road, and there's lots of vibration, lots of shifting of the pipe, shifting of the tank, it should never break and still hold that seal and allow that little bit of flex to happen. And I'm still gonna reuse the hose clamp that's around there too, but enough yapping. Let's go ahead and get into it. Oh wait, one more thing. I will post a link in the video description below to this if it works. If it doesn't, then I do have some other ideas that we can tackle. All right, yeah, let's get into the fix. So here under the RV, you can see the connection that the gray tank makes with the pipe. You can see they're completely separated, but again, thankfully, there are no cracks on either of the pipes. So the first thing I need to do is remove all of the old sealant from the inside of this tube and right here on this tube here as well. And I'm gonna use a little bit of sandpaper just to scuff them up a little bit to give a better surface for the new thread sealant to kind of work into those grooves and form a better seal. And then we need to dry it all up really good and then apply the new sealant, put it in, reattach the hose clamp, and hope everything works. It's really nice. I've got these wires in my way too. They're just gonna kind of be in the way of this whole project also. It's great. Seems like a Stanley knife is working pretty well to get most of the big chunks off. Actually, gosh, it looks like they used Dicor. Yeah, I think they used Dicor lap sealant. I'm not sure if that's factory or if someone else had a problem with this and they tried to fix it themselves. So after quite a bit of scraping with a Stanley knife, found that just a flat blade screwdriver was the best for getting the old Dicor off. Got all of the big chunks off. Now I'm gonna take some sandpaper to it and get all those small stuff, and like I said, get some grooves into this plastic so that the new sealant will have just some more surface area to adhere to. And now that it's all sanded and scuffed in there, Again, that was just to rough up the mating surface, not to actually take off any material. I'm gonna use some mineral spirits now, just to remove any like DYRT that I just smeared around with the sandpaper. And then after that, I'm gonna use just some isopropyl alcohol to remove any residue that the mineral spirits leaves behind. Honestly, I probably should have done this step first to prevent sort of impregnating any of that DYRT residue into the plastic. I'm a little worried about that. Should have just removed the DYRT, any small bits of DYRT with the mineral spirits and alcohol first. So, yeah, I recommend doing that if you try to tackle a project similar to this on your own and they use DYRT. All right, now I'm using the isopropyl alcohol, and that's what the inside of the tube looks like now. I'm pretty happy with that. Got a nice rough, scuffed up surface for the tubes to mate in. And now it's just time to work on this tube and get all this cleaned up. Pretty much just gonna do the exact same process as I did before, except like I said, I'm gonna use the mineral spirits and isopropyl alcohol first before sanding and scuffing up that mating surface. All right, now I'm gonna get in here with the mineral spirits and try to dissolve away any leftover DYRT. Oh yeah, that's taking care of it. I can see it wiping right off. Just saturated this paper towel with mineral spirits. Yeah, it's dissolving it away pretty good. Yeah, definitely flip the sanding and the mineral spirits and alcohol step. Do that first. I'm a little worried I impregnated a bunch of DYRT into the plastic by sanding first on the other side, but you know, it is what it is. I already did it, so hopefully it doesn't really affect anything. And now I'm going back over the tube, wiping it down with a paper towel saturated in isopropyl alcohol this time, just like on the other side. And again, this is just to get any of the residue left behind from the mineral spirits off, because mineral spirits does leave behind a bit of a residue, whereas the isopropyl alcohol, it all just evaporates away pretty quickly. After this, just gotta sand this side, and then yeah, we'll be applying the new thread sealant. And that's what that mating surface looks like now, all scuffed up. Again, I didn't really push real hard. The idea wasn't to remove much material, just rough up that surface. And I'm really happy with that, how that turned out. It's completely clean of the DYRT. And after sanding, I wiped it down with alcohol again, just to get off any loose plastic particles. So I'm really happy with that. So yeah, now it's time to apply the sealant and clamp it back down. Now I'm gonna loop the hose clamp around this tube for now. I grabbed a new pair of gloves too, so they weren't dirty and contaminate this this pipe thread sealant. And I'm not entirely sure how much of it to use, so I'm just gonna kind of glob it on there. It's pretty thick stuff. And the directions say for tubes larger than 1 1/4 inch diameter to apply the sealant to both the male and female threads is what the tube says, but you know, we don't have threads on this, so basically you just apply it to both inside and outside. All right, I ended up using the whole tube on this, so any plumbers out there, any experts might know if less is more or not, but yeah, I used the whole tube. All right, time to put these in and see if it seals. But I got the tube and the tank lined up about as best I could. So now I'm just gonna get the hose clamp on. And they had it, the clamp way back here, but I'm gonna come up here and clamp a little closer to the tube, because that's just, you know, the tank is more flexible here on the end, and the tube itself has more meat, a thicker mating surface back there. So I think that's gonna be more, I think I'm gonna have a better chance of success doing that. Oh yeah, seeing that sealant really shoot out on the sides. I think that's a good sign. And here's what the finished tube looks like. I just spread around any of the excess pipe sealant that started to squeeze out as I tightened down the hose clamp. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think I got a pretty good seal, and the tube that the product came in said that the pipe can be put into service immediately. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill up this gray tank and wait a while, and I'll report back to you guys and let you know whether or not this worked. Well, it's been about a week since I performed the fix on the gray tank in this Axis motorhome. We left the gray water tank almost completely full for that whole time, and there are no leaks, I'm happy to report. No leaks at all in the connection that I repaired, and the ground directly under that connection is dry as well. And so I'm feeling really good about this repair. I even added a second hose clamp onto that connection just to help hold it all together. You know, it's repaired now, but I'm interested to see how this type of repair works once we start moving this thing, rolling it down the road. Everything starts flexing and vibrating, because remember, the thread sealant that I used never hardens. It always stays flexible. And so the only thing that's gonna really hold that joint together are the hose clamps, while the sealant is going to allow flex, allow some movement without the seal cracking. And that's why I think this is gonna work really well, because, you know, the failure we had before was because everything just broke, and you know, the tube completely separated from the gray tank that goes over it. So I'm hoping that having those two hose clamps and this Teflon infused thread sealant solves this problem long term. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to any of you out there that have a similar problem. Hopefully, you know, this gives you some ideas on how to repair it yourself as well. But again, my name's David. This is Fade Unbound, and if you like the video, please consider subscribing. It would help me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next one, because now I gotta go let my puppy out because she is crying at the door. Bye.